This is not what you are ready for. There is a chance that the price of XRP Ripple coin could reach $3,000 very quickly. They have facts to back up what they say, even though it sounds crazy. Ripple is likely to win its court case against the SEC very soon. That could be the most important sign of a bull market ever. Let's do it one step at a time. You'll be amazed by this movie. Let's get right to the point without any more nonsense. Nota bene. Ripple Labs and the SEC have been in a legal battle for a long time, and it is finally hitting its peak. For almost 4 years, the crypto industry has been paying close attention to what happens to XRP, which is the token at the heart of Ripple's payments environment. It has become a symbol of the larger fight for clear regulations in the digital asset space. Now that important dates are coming up and big changes are being made to the way things are done, a final settlement seems closer than ever. An expert in cryptography named Ido Farina put it all in a tweet. Here's what's next for XRP now that the SEC case is over. Even though the legal dust hasn't fallen completely, this case seems to be getting close to its end, a big one that could have long-lasting effects on not only Ripple but also the whole crypto industry. On June 16, the SEC has to give the U.S. Court of Appeals a report on the situation. This is a very important date. This is the last day of a 60-day window that started with earlier hearings where unresolved issues were marked for possible review by an appellate court. Bill Morgan, a lawyer who has been following the case very closely, said that this new information could show whether the SEC plans to keep pushing its appeal or drop the case. If either the SEC or Ripple files new documents or replies with more information, it could start the process needed to officially end the case. On the other hand, if neither side says anything, it could mean that a secret truce is being made behind the scenes. The latest events happened after Ripple and the SEC asked for what is called an indicative ruling, but were turned down. The two sides basically asked Judge Analisa Torres to comment on a certain matter. They wanted to know if she would be willing to lift a long-standing injunction before the case was brought back to her courtroom from the appeal level, but Judge Torres turned down that request, saying it was not in line with the rules. So if the parties want to keep going down that path, any new requests must be formatted properly and sent again. There is a lot at stake in this formal dance. If there is a settlement, a lot of money could be moved around. For example, $50 million, 0 cents could be sent to the SEC and the rest of the escrowed assets could be given back to Ripple. This change could give Ripple back all of its financial freedom and could affect how liquid XRP is in big markets. A long file from a third party just showed up on the court's docket, which adds to the mystery. This unexpected paper said bad things about how the SEC has used the Howey test, which is a legal standard used to see if an asset is a security. The filing goes against the SEC's main point of view by questioning the idea of investment contracts in the context of autonomous cryptocurrencies. Even though it probably won't change the outcome, it shows how important this case is to the people and how tense the legal situation is. Cryptocurrency users, law experts, and financial regulators are all keeping an eye on things. A lot of people are also wondering if the rules that were used to control investment plans in the 1940s can still be used to control blockchain technology in the 21st century. At the same time, momentum keeps building in the business as a whole. In recent tweets, Jack the Rippler, another well-known figure in the XRP community, said, "The SEC announced it will be holding its final crypto roundtable to discuss crypto DeFi on June 9. We're not going away." That attitude sums up the mood of a lot of people. The crypto movement isn't going to wait for what happens in court. The result of this legal case could set a standard that is used far beyond Ripple's offices. It would be worse for the SEC's overall plan to classify crypto assets as stocks if they back down or if the courts rule again in favor of Ripple. That would be a big change in the rules, and it would affect how new tokens are released, how assets are listed on platforms, and how decentralized apps are built by developers. As you might expect, crypto experts are making the craziest predictions because they think Ripple will win. There is a lot of stress in the air, and not just for people who own XRP. If Ripple wins, it could send a huge wave through the crypto business. XRP is going through the roof, new rules are being changed, and big players are rushing to change their positions. Everyone in the crypto world is holding their breath. What are these bold statements? Then you need to hear some of them because they will blow your mind. Tweets from important people in the XRP environment show that people are getting really excited. If you've never sold your XRP, Crypto Sensei did a great job of capturing the diamond-handed attitude. And it's clear that a lot of them didn't. Not when Emonix says panic sellers were being shaken out, and definitely not now, when people like Steph are sure that XRP is about to blow up. In the minds of many Christians, this is the last build-up before it takes off. Ripple Pumpkin didn't hold back when he said that XRP would go up by 40,000% on the day the case is finally over. He called it a huge green candle coming. That's the kind of high-speed confidence that's becoming more common as the law becomes clearer and the technology keeps getting better. Some people might think it's crazy or even insane, but then you remember that XRP has already done something that seemed impossible. At its peak in 2017, XRP was worth over $3.00. In its early days, it was worth less than a penny. That's the reason why XRP Dragon's most recent post got so much attention. He said that a similar jump from $3,000.00 to $3,000.00 shouldn't be completely thrown out. That would be a rise of 99,900%, he made it sound like. If XRP could do that with speculation, what could it do now with real use, acceptance, and clarity? Not everyone is sure that a repeat of that steep rise is possible, though. Critics say that the first time the price of XRP was set, there wasn't a lot of liquidity in the market. They also say that the current market, which is more developed, crowded, and regulated, has a lot of problems. Others say that $300.00 to $300.00 might be a better upper limit, pointing to XRP's growth path during its real breakout phase, which began around $0.02, but for long-term users, those numbers would still be life-changing, even if they were 50x from where they are now, as XRP Avengers says they will be. Then there are the predictions that are really on another level. Levi, a different voice in the XRP world, says, XRP to $500.00. Some people might think that's crazy, but it has to do with bigger conversations about XRP's possible role in making global payments easier, and especially how it might be able to work with digital currency systems run by central banks. If XRP were to become an important asset for CBDCs that operate across countries, it could cause price changes in ways that the market has never seen before. That's what all of these predictions are based on. Hope, not just talk. Hope that Ripple's years of going to court, building infrastructure, and forming relationships around the world will finally pay off. We hope that usefulness will win out over guesswork. Hope it was worth it to stay strong during the storm. Some of the numbers, like 40,000%, 99,900%, or even $10,000.00, may seem crazy, but they're not just dreams. They show support for a project that has been looked at, fought against, and put under more pressure than almost any other cryptocurrency. Although the SEC's case is almost over, XRP's story is far from over. June 16th is a key date for court updates, and the market is keeping a close eye on it. Now let's talk about the companies that work with XRP, Ripple, because everything going on behind the scenes is crazy. Deals like these don't just exist on paper. We're going to talk about big banks, real-life payment systems, and quiet moves that could make a huge difference. Don't worry, this isn't hype. The positive signal is right there in plain sight. Once you see it, you'll know why XRP's next move could be historic. So Ripple's plan for global payments is much bigger than just buying and selling cryptocurrencies. It's about making the old and new business worlds work together better. Researchers in cryptography called Smoke have recently found that Ripple can connect to some of the world's most established banking systems, such as Nature, Swift, and even the Federal Reserve. There is more to this than just guesswork or business speak. Official papers keep saying that Ripple works with these old networks, which suggests that it's not meant to replace them, but to work with and improve them. Take Nokia as an example. It is the core of automatic clearinghouse payments in the US. Ripple's technology is so similar to Nokia's self-regulated